Blog Talk Radio.
Sunset, like any great melting, heats a vibrant fire that blends wounded hearts together in a magic show that transforms, reminds you of a past where the sunrise woke your senses with rays and flares. You realize in between the
Hi everybody, welcome to Speaking Poorly Radio. I'm your host today, Anthony Potter. I want to give a shout out to La Andita Mexican Restaurant for always feeding the hungry and the poor and providing a spot for the community to have a great place to eat. I want to say thank you to the 420 Social Club for always providing a safe place for medical marijuana patients to hang out and get it involved in different activities and have a safe place to medicate, as well as Unholy Tattoo, who's open 24 hours a day, to bringing great tattoo and piercing artwork to you within your budget. I'm here today with Gerard Krausch, who's a liberty and freedom activist, and he's going to be talking to us about a lot of the great things he's been working on and some of the stuff he's gone through. Gerard, are you here with us?
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Gerard. So first off, let's give a shout out to all of our friends at JRev Radio, who you've been working with and talking about for years.
Rob, of course, Wassman. Don't label me Wassman. I have a hard time speaking. I've had strokes. Last one kind of kicked my ass. Matthew Dalton, Trapeau. Thanks, man.
And so, tell me, Gerard, what have you been up to lately?
Lately, trying to get it together. Going to the VA, being compartmentalized, being told to do things. I do them. Being punished for doing good, and rewarded if I'm a slob and lazy, basically.
So tell me,
like anybody else.
Tell me this: is there such thing as lazy, or do people just not want to run around in a hamster wheel?
I think they're lazy. I think they're ignoring. There's a difference between ignoring and nation, as Mark Passo would tell you. Nation means unaware. Ignore means to turn away. I think a lot of people are turning away. They're putting effort into being lazy. They're putting energy into not doing what's easier, you know?
Uh-huh. And so, tell me this. What do you think was the result of you having these strokes? Do you think it was stress? Do you think it was the lifestyle you were having? Do you think it was stuff that could have been prevented by the VA or any other kind of governmental assistance agency that you were trying to work with?
Well, it could have been prevented. A lot of it was lifestyle, bad diet. A lot of stress. As I've said, people are turning away, looking the other way, making an effort to do what's harder instead of just doing what's easy, doing what they should, doing what's beneficial.
And so I know a few years ago you were in a VA program for housing, and how long did you stay in that, and what was the result?
I stayed in there 3 months. I got 3 months. Brandy Champion got me an extra month. Nathan Cox, good man, I love him. He's a veteran from the Army. He got me an extra month. He put an article in Veterans Today and he posted it on his page. And he told me to do it again, but really I don't like taking advantage. I like your cousin, Michael Sliss. No excuses. I mean, I don't know if he lives by that, but I do. No excuses, nothing extra. Just like Jersey Wells, nothing extra.
And so do you have an eviction on your record now because of that? Did that change your credit rating or anything like that?
No, I don't think I have an eviction record. I got out before I was evicted, so I did have a lease, and I told the landlord, I got to break it. I don't have the money. And here's the money I do have for what I do owe, and I paid up, and I left.
And so
you left with me.
After that happened, what did you do? Where did you go?
I think I went back on the sidewalk in the field for a little while, and then over to where I was helping out at Central City Assembly behind there, behind the church in the tent.
And so how were you treated then? And what kind of stuff were you exposed to?
I was treated, I thought, okay at first. You were treated poorly. That chopped my hide. And I stayed a little while after you got bounced. And another thing that chopped my butt was Dwayne getting bounced. I was the only one to vote him to stay. Everybody else was scared of him because he killed somebody. He's ex-Army. Guy was bragging about being a pedophile at a barbecue. He told him to shut up. Guy wouldn't shut up. Kept bragging about raping little kids, and Dwayne killed him. Now he was dubbed the Tucson Slasher. He did his time. Like I told him at the meeting, he did his time. Why are you voting him out? Well, how do you vote? They asked me. And I said, what does it matter? You're all voting him out. Every one of you except me. They know how I voted. I voted stick up for the brother.
And it's good that you did that, and, you know, that's something we should admire, and you're always being that guy who's sticking up for others and trying to make a positive change. After that, where did you end up?
After that, I found out my sister died. It was deemed an accident. I know she killed herself. She crossed that highway several times and never got hit. And then she got hit by 4 cars on the 5 by Palm Avenue in San Diego. No way was it an accident. I know that road. I know her. And I went back. I found out my brother was reincarcerated. That's why I left. He was beating the hell out of me.
So that's got to be
said, bye.
That's got to be a real tough situation where your health isn't going the way that it should. You just lost your housing. You are kind of moving around trying to find a place to stay safe and to be able to live and move yourself back up, taking advantage of opportunities that come to you. Your sister passes away, your brother gets reincarcerated, there's probably other stuff going on.
Sure.
What do you do next?
So I was back at my mother's for a couple months, and I had a couple of more strokes. Last one kicked my ass. I had strokes before, many ones, TIGs or whatever they call them. But the last one was bad. It debilitated me. So I was in rehab for a couple months. My doctor told me you can go tomorrow. I said, what time? Between 10 and 10:30 and 1. So I left at 10:30. And I've seen more people came outside to tell me to come back in than I've seen the whole time I was there. The whole 2 months I was there, there's more people telling me what to do. And I don't do commands or obedience training very well. I explain it, and if people don't get it, well, it's like I always live by. If you're going to be dumb, you better be tough, man, because I'm getting up.
So when you go to the VA and you go there, you tell them, hey, my name's Gerard, I'm a vet, this is what I'm going through right now, this is my medical issues, I've been here before. You guys know my history. What can you do to help me? You mean automatically at that point they don't look at your charts and they don't do something? There's some kind of loops you still got to jump through?
Yeah, they look at my chart, they tell me you got to jump through this hoop, that hoop, the other hoop, and I said, what are you going to do? You know? It's like I got to do all the work. The vet, me, whoever, I'm not being persecuted. That's why a lot of vets are back out on the street, because they get dropped. They don't follow through. They don't kick people's asses. They don't grab them by the hair and say, hey, do your job. Come on, man, do your job. It's all I'm asking. Nothing extra, you know? It's like you were there with me. 15 hours to put a cast on my head, a soft cast. Because dude was calling names. And I told him, shut up, man, quit calling me names.
And I remember when we were sitting in the lobby of the ER at the VA for those hours, there was a guy who was retired, was pretty high brass from what I could remember, had some heart pains while on the golf course, came to the hospital thinking it would be a heart attack or a stroke, seemed dizzy, wasn't fully coherent.
Yeah.
That sat there as long as we did and left before us, never being seen.
Mental issues were seen faster than physical issues. Also, as that woman came out and we asked her, what's taking so long? Oh, I'm so busy. I got in the back. They weren't busy. She wanted more money.
And so
all about the money.
It's like I get the whole thing about 22 vets a day committing suicide and one person dying is more than what's needed. But do we really want to create a VA system where the guy the vet having mental issues and the guy possibly passing away or having a heart attack or a stroke have to compete to be seen? Or do we fund this place good enough to where they should both be able to be seen without competing?
The latter. I think it should be funded good enough. I think it is funded good enough now. I think people are not doing their job. As I said, they're polishing a chair with their behind. They're not getting up on, saying the hours. Get up on it, man. Just get up. Do what you got to do or go away. Go to the hall, go to the bar, go home. But don't pretend. Don't pose. That will trap my ass fast. That will get my PTS raging if you're posing and pretending and getting in the way of people that will actually do a job.
Well, I got a question that's really going to raise you in a few different ways. Are you ready for it?
Sure.
What's going on in your garden?
In my garden?
Yes, in your garden.
I got the seeds, but Maggie keeps saying call, and I do, and nobody's helping. I got to drag pallets home by myself. I'm going to try to grow vertically instead of in the ground, so I don't have to water as much, take up as much space, as much time and energy. So I want to go vertical. I was to the 99-cent store. Dollar store is easier to say. Penny more.
So how many...
There was cloth there I can use. 15 by 3 foot.
Because what I can do is if you need pallets, it's like I can talk to Louis Arthur over at VOP, tell him that you need need pallets. Well, if the VOP Bravo base is right there along the railroad tracks over by Santa Rita Park,
right?
And so they're right in that warehouse district that has tons of pallets that they're trying to get rid of, and he can just get someone to come pick him up and drive him to where you're at.
So all I need is a ride. And speaking of the tracks by Santa Rita, remember we crossed those tracks all the time?
Yeah.
Was it Fulton Street? The voodoo place? That scared me, man. I was out of there about third time I was gone. But anyway, that gave me a good idea. I seen clothes everywhere on those tracks because the homeless and the poor, they wear their clothes, they get clothes at St. Benny's or the VA or somewhere, anywhere they can. People give them clothes for free. But they have nowhere to wash them. They have nowhere to store them. So if I can get a loan from the VA, told me to go to the SBA. So now get an SBA, the Small Business Association loan for zero down. Now, if I can get a zero down loan, I can buy a laundromat, put some lockers in the back so people can wash their clothes and they can store their clothes and they'll clean up the tracks.
And maybe give them a pair of overalls to wear while they're there so they could even clean the ones that they're wearing.
Sure, if they're poor or indigent and on the street like I am or was, I'll give out cards. I plan on making a card coin out so people can pay, they can pay, and people that can't pay at all, they can just stick a card in the machine.
And so then it kind of goes by a sliding scale.
Right. It'll be a write-off. If I give out cards every month, it'll be a write-off towards taxes. So I won't get the crap. Because taxation is theft, man. Somebody writes a letter saying, pay now. And if you say no, they're going to say, okay, we're sending somebody to tell you to pay. And they'll send somebody to your house, bang, bang, bang on the fucking door or window. Pay up. You say no. They'll say, well, we're going to send other people in costumes with guns. And they'll say, pay up, they'll come out. And they'll say, pay up. Say no. If you don't, they'll throw you in a cage. They didn't do nothing. They didn't wash no clothes. They never bolted up iron with me. They never tied iron with me. You know? It's like, why? I earned this. Why are you taking from me? That's theft, man. With threats of throwing you in a cage or killing you with a gun.
Well,
I don't do good on
would
that.
you say that the city of Tucson, making people pay for a business license before they start making money with the business, is putting a blockade in front of them or taxing before profit?
Yeah, it is. Taxing before profit is a good way to put it. They're taking before you even make any money for a permit. I mean, what's that about? And most organizations don't need to be permitted. They don't need permission. Like me and you, we can exchange what we want. The city wants their cut, though. But what they don't know ain't going to hurt them, you know. Well, you might hurt somebody, you might kill somebody, especially people that feed people. Everybody just about has a permit. I plan to feed people when I get my garden going. But I'm going to give my food, and I'm going to do breakfast because nobody's doing breakfast in this town to somebody that has a permit already.
So when it comes to taxes, one of the things that people usually talk about with taxes is school, roads, and
my roads.
Yeah. And so when it comes to the schools in Tucson, it's kind of like Detroit, where if they spent $100 a day, Tucson Unified School District wouldn't be in the place that it's in. If I gave you a penny for every pothole in Tucson, you could probably buy a house.
Easy.
based on those two things,
nice
is there any evidence based on those two things that our tax money is actually going to roads and schools?
No evidence. I don't see it. What I know is that schools like religions or government, voting, all that, I think that religion was put in place to keep people from knowing or experiencing divinity or God, as some call it. The Apaches call it, and I'm much like that. Celtic or Irish and Teutonic, German.
So you're saying God probably isn't gold, oil, and drugs?
God what?
So you're saying God probably isn't gold, oil, and drugs? Gold
is a very good conductive metal. I'm very much into minerals and gems and the power of them. It's like the A-bomb, okay? It was uranium's mined, made into plutonium, and that is what creates the A-bomb. It's a rock, man. It's a mineral. They have power. They have energies. They do certain things. I think Reich and Tesla were very smart people. And Reich was definitely into creating energy out of rocks. The first radio was made of quartz crystal and a copper wire. And some people now have put Tesla and Reich together and create stuff. Oh my God, they don't got a permit. But anyway, I plan on doing that. I plan on doing a lot of stuff. The laundromat, Dave was going to help me with that yesterday. He took off. I don't know now. I'll just get what I need online or something.
And so, in Tucson, the Pima County Coalition to End Homelessness, they get $156 million a year.
Wow.
To house less than 3,500 people.
I've been to a meeting at the city hall. Everybody had their hand out to get a piece of pie. There's millions of dollars going to be allocated to the homeless. Have you seen any of that?
Nope.
I haven't seen any of it. Not 1 cent. Kyle, Mike, anybody I know that's been homeless or poor hasn't seen a penny of it. They're going to house me. Supposedly going to. I'm not in yet. The VA. And that was one person there that I didn't respect at the time. Thought, well, shit, man, he's got his hand out too. But I've seen him talk to him since, and I kind of like him. I'm not sure yet. But so far, I've been tolerant, and I don't go off like a lot of people think. You just like to go out. You just, for whatever you can. But I don't, man. I'm tolerant. And I try. I listen. I put my hands down or behind my back. And I know martial arts. I know Hapkido and Jeet-Kune-Do and how to wield a bow or broken bow. And it's like, man, people don't know that. And nobody should have, me or anybody shouldn't have to explain what they know or what they can do. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Or who they are or where they've been. People should get respect. They should get consideration. Equally. That's what I think should be equal. I don't think that someone should take money from somebody to give to somebody. That's communism. I joined during the height. Pol Pot just came in or was seen and said, hey, come here. He said, okay. He did not believe he was responsible for millions of deaths. He's dead now, and he never did believe it. He cried at trial. said, I didn't do that. Yeah, man, you were responsible for millions of deaths. You actually killed people yourself. So, well, I might have killed some people, but I wasn't responsible for all his deaths. Dude was out there. He got house arrest. Now, some dude, you know him, I don't think I should mention names, skateboarded up and down the street, nice kid, seemed nice. 2 years, he's out on the street, I heard. He murdered some chick, not killed her with a knife, he cut body parts off. Gruesome. He got 2 years. I know somebody else, I'd seen him when I was in jail. He sold some pot or some spice or something. He's getting 5 years. I don't get it, man. Why are people giving their money to somebody else they've never seen before? Why do people join the military to go kill people they never seen before overseas? Different color? No, man. Consideration. Just have some. Have a little enthusiasm. Take a little initiative. That's all. Nothing extra. If you're going to breathe, well, eat. Don't make somebody feed you. You know? If you can't feed yourself, ask. Don't just take shit from people. I think taxation is theft. I know it is. You know? I think communism is baloney. Marx was one of the creators of Marxist communism. He even said religion is the opiate of the masses. And like Meister up in Phoenix from Cluck, he asked one time, and I remember that question. He asked, is religion a place to keep people from knowing divinity or God? I think it is, man. I think schools are created to keep people dumb. I think Damien is doing a great job homeschooling kids. I know she does. I'm sure a couple of other people do. But most people, it's convenient. So they ship the kids off to public school for, to be babysat. But they're getting dumb, man. It's better if they run the streets. You know, my dog or wolf used to come by and look in the window, and everybody would freak out and say, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom and take off, man. 3rd grade, I was just in school. I didn't finish. I'd go to the lake, go swimming. I'd go ride horses, bareback, no bridle.
And you used to be an iron worker. What happened to that?
I can't say that word real good. Stenosis mostly in my back and my neck. And around here, it ain't what you know, it's who you know. California was a lot better. They wanted.
Everybody, thank you for listening to the Speaking Poorly radio show. Right, if you want to catch the full broadcast, you could go ahead and go on blogtalkradio.com/homelessnewsnow or go to homelessnewsnow.com and find the full broadcast there. I want to give a shout out to the 420 Social Club, La Andita, Unholy Tattoo for all the support they do in the community. We're talking with Gerard Krausch, liberty and freedom activist, and we'll go ahead and continue now.
Ironwork? They wanted me to push up in Phoenix a lot, California. So I don't push, man. I don't tell people what to do. I'll make suggestions and requests. If they don't want to do what I ask, they can go away, you know. I'll get somebody else that will. And I've had friends that know as much or more than me work for me. And they take requests. They take suggestions. And I know a couple things that they're not privy to. Because I've always been tight with the foreman. But I won't be a foreman. I won't just tell people what to go in the air conditioning and polish the chair with my behind. I got to be there with guys, right? Helping, because...
Well, this is an interesting thing because your injuries stem from you being an iron worker, but you can't really go back to being an iron worker because of your injuries. Where's the union stand on this?
Like I said, in Tucson, they don't stand behind me or up for me or anyone because of what they know. It's who they know. And in Phoenix, it's better. In California, I don't know anybody. They just go by what I know and not who I know. So it's a lot better there. I've been offered the bridges around Manhattan to push reforming those bridges. I will go back there. When I get a little more balance and I can speak a little better, I'll go back and push those bridges.
And so tell me this, how long would you have to work back as an iron worker to get your full retirement?
I need one credit. Arizona, I think it's a credit for a year now. It was like a year and a half for a credit. It was longer than a year. New York is shortest. It's the highest pay. It's less work. They have laborers doing some of the work. Like if I do bar and I work for my cousin Langan, they'll place the bar. Or at least drop the bars. They'll have to police and tie it, or tell people where to place and tie. And it's easier. It's not as grueling as out here. The weather's more grueling, and so are the people. And it's crazy, man. You would think it wouldn't be, but that's how it is.
So tell me this. You got injuries from your Navy service. You got injuries from being an iron worker. You've had your medical issues with the last few years with the strokes. Why aren't you on disability?
It's a job. It's harder to get on disability for anybody, I think, than it is to actually work. It is work trying to get it. It's like pulling teeth. It's crazy. But I wanted to talk about the Navy or the military. I got burned in the Navy. I was on NBC, Nuclear, Biological, Chemical Warfare. We went to a general quarters drill, making quotations, drill. I had to go out and check the sprinklers. So when I was out, I got a little stoned. I came back in and I was getting stared at. So what are you staring at? And Stu from sales told me, he said, man, you're burnt. I said, I was in the shade most of the time. It's only out in the sun for a second or two. And sure enough, man, alpha waves. And this was back in the 80s. They were obviously testing. The air was heavy. There was a lot of water in the air. And I know I got burned. I had layers of burn. From red, light red, medium red to light red to no red at all. So go to the corner. I said, nah, you ain't have to do nothing. So next day he said, you going to the corner? Or if you have been? I said, I'm going to go now. I said, all right. So I went to the corpsman. He said, you want some sunburn cream? I said, sunburn cream? This is radiation, man. And he said, that's the best I can do. I said, write up a report. He said, you want to? I said, yeah, I want you to. I wouldn't ask you. Write up a report and send it off to the old man. And he said, okay. So about 10 days, 2 weeks later, I went in and I asked the same corpsman. I said, did you send the report? He said, yeah. I said, well? He said, well, it came back and they just laughed and threw it in the trash, just like I said they would. I said, son of a bitch, it's like ale. And speaking of the slashers, remember him? time before I seen him, last time I seen him, he was in remission. Time before that, he was going to the VA to get cobalt injections because they'll treat his cancer, but they won't admit that it was Agent Orange caused his cancer. And I knew right away. I said, "You got AO, man." I recognized those bumps because I've seen a friend of mine die from cancer. He detailed cars, and he was in Nam, and so was Dwayne at the very end in Nam. So exfoliating, Dow Chemical was exfoliating. They created Agent Orange.
How many people have you met on the street that got a severe illness, have cancer, some kind of debilitating disease that might not get better, and they're not getting disability, they're not getting housing, and they seem stuck in the cracks?
I don't even know, man. There's a lot. I just seen Lewis Taylor downtown. He rolled up and gave me a cigarette. He's poor, but his lawyer says, "Stay in town. I'm going to get your money." He's not going to trial, he told me. Because trial, they'll drag it out. He's just going to take a settlement. Whatever they give, hundreds of thousands, a million or two, whatever. He did 30-plus years in the penitentiary for that money. He was the only black kid in the 60s downtown. And I remember when he got busted in 69 when the Pioneer burned. I was here. Just got here from New York. And you know who testified against him in court? They got him all the time? A forest fire expert. Guy wasn't even an expert in structural fires.
So basically,
he did it because he's black.
So the forest. So you had a forest ranger who, instead of accusing Yogi of stealing picnic baskets, this time is accusing the only black guy within 3 miles of a burning hotel that he has to be the one.
Right.
And did this guy have any...
He was loaded at the time. He's been loaded ever since.
And did he have any experience or knowledge or schooling in that kind, in fire investigations or anything like that?
The guy that convicted him, or Lewis?
The one that testified against him, the ranger.
Forest fire expert, ranger, whatever. That's what he had. He had an expertise in firefighting on forest fires, not structural fires. The Pioneer is a hotel. People jumped out, man. They were screaming alphas. I have an expertise on lighting people on fire.
Do you think that the real person they should have investigated as for the Pioneer fighting would be maybe the restaurant owners right next door who were going under, but then got a high payout because their restaurant burned down along with the Pioneer?
I would have went for the insurance. The people who are trying to get insurance money first, because there was no individual to point a finger at. So I would have went for the people next door who were trying to get an insurance payout.
So, Gerard, it's 2016. Who are you voting for president?
Nobody.
Why?
Because they're dumber than me. They're dumber than you. Everybody that's running. Everybody that runs is running for a reason. Crime pays, so they run. It's a crime. I think that's why there's still a vote. Because it's the mafia, nobody's heard from them lately. Mafioso people, you know them, I know them,
So tell me this. If you got a chance to sit down with Jill Stein, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and Bernie Sanders, you get to sit down with the four of them and have a conversation for an hour. What are you saying to them?
An hour?
Yeah.
I'll beat them for an hour's up. All of them. The only one I'll have a beer with is probably Russell, and he's dead now. Means he was a libertarian. Or Ron Paul, maybe.
What
the hell is wrong with Rand?
What about Vermin Supreme, the guy with the boot on his head?
He's running. Like I said, if you run, something fucking wrong. Especially today. I know the guy with the boot on his head. I know Vermin. Why? He's making a joke out of the whole thing. That's cool, but don't be serious. People who are seriously running and want something for nothing. And I always worked. You always worked.
And in New Hampshire, he actually
on the street.
In New Hampshire, he actually beat both Hillary and Bernie.
Berman did?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. It don't matter if he beats everybody. They'll say delegates or super delegates or whatever. Like Bernie's, Hillary claims Bernie's out, supposedly.
And so with it being 2016 and we move into a presidential election, if you had money, where would you be investing in it?
If I had money, I'd be investing. Ron's right about that. I'd be investing in some gold, silver. Supposed to come into some money. I have money owed me, and I'm going to put it all in Bitcoin or silver, probably dimes, and bury it. Banks suck, man. The only thing they're good for is a card, so I can order shit online. But I can get one of those at a convenience store or somewhere. It's like, I don't trust them. They take money. Say, we're going to take this much percent, okay? So what are you going to tell them?
So going back, while you were trying to, do you think through your experience on the streets, do you think it was easier to do stuff yourself and get help through private friends and people that you get to know, or do you think it's easier to go through government assistance and social services?
People. Government and social services, they're in it for themselves and the buck. The almighty dollar. They don't have a clue what goes on out there like me and you. Remember the first night I was out there? I said, scoot over, I live here. And sure enough, an individual, not a government agency, came around the corner and said, hey, like pizza? I said, yeah, man. And they gave us a pizza.
So,
it wasn't a government agency.
So, Maggie Downey now works as a case manager at La Frontera. You feeling better about La Frontera with that, or no?
No, it's a government agency. They get a handout. They get millions of dollars a year.
What about...
Or they get a piece of pie.
What do you think about Michelle Ream's idea of tiny homes and community supporter shelters Tucson?
That's great. Individuals got to do it. Organizations, as soon as someone gets a 501c3, they become fat-headed and they want dollars. It's like me and you live behind the church. And dude that was in charge, he told me he was getting a Bugatti. He's going to get money for helping us. I said, are you fucking serious? Like, I feel like McEnroe. You can't be serious, man.